Oh, welcome everyone. In this lesson, we're doing some work out of the textbook on the area of a triangle, and it looks very similar to the formula that we're using. Looks very similar to the area of a rectangle. So, in fact, it is the same. It's just got a half out the front of it. And this is what I want you to think about. I've got a nice piece of origami paper here that's square. So all the sides are the same. So a triangle, we can form a triangle here by just folding this in half. And I'm going to do it on the diagonal here. And you can see straight away as I do this that we've halved the area. Okay, so there we go. And you can play around with different shapes of triangles, and if you just duplicate that shape, you should be able to turn it into a rectangle. Okay, by laying them over each other so they nest inside of each other, you'll form a rectangle of some sort. And what's important in that measurement when we're doing our work is that we're going to call, here's my little triangle here, we're going to call one of those sides, we've got three to pick from, but we're going to call one the base. And we need to, same old trick as what I just described in the previous video. Here's my builder's square again. I'm going to do the same job here. We need to know the perpendicular height of that triangle. So we need to, hopefully that's given to us, and we need to mark that in. And you'll see there, what I've done there as well when I've drawn it. See that I've put a little box down here? This is to indicate that it's at 90 degrees. So this line is perpendicular to the base. Now, you might see some triangles where, I'm just going to hold this up and do a really rough one here. So you might be given the measurement and it might be outside of the triangle. And then there might be some dashed lines out there. I'll draw them on the whiteboard. I'll do a better job than this. But the same thing. You need to be very aware that you need a perpendicular measurement from the base of the triangle. Now that can either be within the triangle or it can be sitting outside of the triangle. And they're the things that you need to work out the area of a triangle. Okay, so we'll get it behind the whiteboard and show you a whole bunch of tricks to help you turn into a ninja with that kind of stuff. All right. We're working on the area of the triangle, and we could do a simple drawing like this where we've got the base of the triangle and we've got, again, see that that's a right angle in there. We're talking about the perpendicular height of that triangle. So we just completed some work on the area of a parallelogram, or so you should be familiar with this, I guess. I'm going to roughly sketch one here and say to you that these formulas look very similar. The area for a parallelogram was base height. And now we're dealing with triangles, and we've got a half in front of it. So what we can do, if we cut this parallelogram on the diagonal here, we actually get two triangles here, and their area is the same, and it is exactly half of the parallelogram. So those formulas are the same, and the most important part of both formulas is that we're looking for and using the perpendicular height. And there's my little symbol to represent that. And you can see in these diagrams there's a right angle there somewhere to help us with that calculation. So what I would say to you is we might do an example, and I've got I guess a really simple sketch of a triangle here whose base is 10 centimeters and the perpendicular height here is 9 centimeters. So we apply the formula half times the base, which is 10 times 9, and we write it out like that. And then we go a half times 10 is 5 times 9 is equal to 45. I just want to give you an alternative way here, and often I do this, base height divided by 2. And this lets me do a couple of things. 10 times 9 over 2, it allows me to cancel out some common factors and see what we're dealing with here, centimeters squared. I work between both, and often I will even write this, the area, knowing that I'm going to halve one of those numbers, if there's a nice number to work with, and 10 is certainly nice to work with, because if I halve that I get 5. Often when I write my workings out, I'm already doing that step and automatically doing it. But so there's 3 options there really for you to work through those things. Now, just a question here. We might set up a triangle here with 2 parallel lines and do something like this. Create a triangle in here. And what we really need to be careful of is this measurement in here. This is our perpendicular height. This is h. And we might call this one the base. And we can stick some numbers on here now. We might make this equal to 10 and this equal to 4 to make life easy for ourselves. So I'm going to use this version of the formula. I'm going to go 10 times 4 over 2, and I'm going to cancel some common factors here, and I can see that my answer is 20. I haven't got any units here, so let's use this trick. Units squared.